be a head coach, and he's been a winner ever since. So I think you just learn with time, and obviously he learned from our time about the culture and winning, and he had a father who was a Hall of Fame winning coach too. So it's just in him. It's just in him. It's in his blood.
Is it maybe too that the attention to detail he's able to get into his roster? That was something Coach Saban always excelled at so much, that the guys were just always drilled in on all the small details. Is that something you see in his teams too?
Yeah, I mean, they're extremely well coached. They know where they're supposed to be. They know what they're supposed to do. They play fast because they know what they're supposed to do. And they play decisive because they know their assignments and how they're supposed to do it. And that goes back to coaching. And that's the head coach bleeding into the assistant coaches and them pouring out the message to the players.
What stands out when you look at Indiana's defense, the tackles for loss and everything? If you were getting ready to face that defense, what were things that would stand out to you as far as things that would make it difficult on offense?
Well, they're just disruptive. They get into the backfield. They make disruptive plays. Even when it's not TFL or a sack, they're affecting the play. And you have to be able to slow that down as an offense. And it's hard to do it because just all the different schemes. They do stunts. They do games. And they play hard. They play with a chip on their shoulder. And that's why they've been successful. So that physicality and that playing fast, that playing decisive, and then obviously the scheme that the coaches teach them, it shows. It shows on Sunday, and they're a tough unit to stop.
What's your best story about Coach Sig when he was recruiting you?
Probably, I think he invited me to his house when I was in Alabama, and he challenged me to a ping pong game, and of course I had to whoop on him a little bit. But
you remember the score?
Huh?
Do you remember the
I
score?
do not remember the score. I just know I won. And he's gonna tell you differently.
Did he let you win?
Yeah, no, of course not. Of course he ain't let me win. He's a competitor. He don't want to lose. You know what I mean? So I had to go in there and I had to flex my muscle on him real quick. Yeah.
Did you see anything about him at that time that told you that this guy's different, that he could do something?
Well, yeah, he was just
this?
always a straight shooter. He was always straightforward. You could tell he was competitive. You could tell that he kind of had a vision for what he wanted and what he saw. And it directly translated to him and our experiences together at Alabama for a year. And then he bet on himself and wanted to be a great head coach everywhere he's been. And so obviously it's in his blood. His father was a coach. His family comes from a coaching family. And every coach has their own identity, kind of their own process, but you can always kind of see that he had a special way of viewing things and that he would be successful.
What do you feel has made Fernando Mendoza a Heisman Trophy candidate?
Well, anytime that you can, have an undefeated team and go on to a road to Oregon and win, and then, obviously just be successful in the way that you manage the game, be able to throw the ball, be able to run the ball off your legs, just be complimentary. That allows you. You keep winning games and you keep putting up good numbers, then at the end of the day, you're going to kind of be up for that in that conversation. So he's just done that. He's done that. Indiana's undefeated. Winning Oregon, probably have one of the most impressive wins in college football this season. And he's done a great job of just putting up the numbers and putting his team in position to win games. So without him, who knows where Indiana would be right now.
Talk about Indiana plays with a chip on the shoulder. Once you start having more success, how hard is it to keep that chip on your shoulder?
I mean, if you want to be the best and you want to be a champion, it's not that hard. You got to just keep going. The media kind of hypes it up and puts these storylines together, but you got to stay focused on what matters, and that's the guys in the locker room, the guys in the meeting rooms. And if you want to be great, nothing's going to stop you from being that, especially nobody telling you how good you are. You can't worry about that stuff. So just got to keep going. One day at a time, one process at a time, one meeting at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time. It seems cliche, but that's how you got to keep your focus to make sure that you stay committed to the process.
You guys were at a couple Indiana games last year. Just when you watch this team this year, what do you think makes them potentially even better than they were?
I think, sometimes you kind of maybe surprise yourself that you're somewhere, you know what I mean? And you kind of get to that point and you're really probably not prepared for, what the stage is. I think lost to Notre Dame, lost to Ohio State last year. And but now you can see this team, they kind of believe that they're supposed to be there, that they know they're supposed to be there. Go on the road to Oregon and win a physical matchup, and a matchup where you had to continue to respond to Oregon, lead changes, and then eventually be able to pull away and get a win on the road. So you could see, I think that for this team, I think that belief that they know they're supposed to be here and they believe they're supposed to be here and they trust the process and they believe in the process. So I think, that belief is bleeding through the players, it's bleeding through the coaching staff, it's bleeding through the fan base. When you have that, all working together, I think that could be something special.
A lot of these Indiana players are 0 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars. I believe you were too, if I recall correctly.
I was 3 stars until I got my Bama offer, then they gave me a 4-star.
Well, how do you think these players that have that, 0 stars, 3 stars, process all this a little bit different than maybe the big time recruits?
I think they're appreciative, and I don't think they take the opportunity for granted. I think that they were kind of looked over, and when you do that, you kind of have a chip on your shoulder. You feel like you have the ability, but maybe you didn't have the opportunity or maybe the exposure that some of the other players had, and now they have the opportunity and now they have the exposure. So now they're taking it and running with it. It's not about the hand you're dealt, but how you play it. And they're all taking the opportunity and running with it. And you can see it. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're playing fast. They're playing physical. They're playing with something to prove. And that's why they're difficult to deal with. You got a great coaching staff. You got talented players that have a chip on their shoulder. And that's why Indiana has something special right now. So they're all talented. They might have been overlooked, but they're not worried about that. They're worried about taking advantage of the opportunity that they have right now. And that's what's so good about being able to watch this football team.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah.